Welcome to In Depth with Academia. I'm Richard Price, CEO of academia.edu, and today we've got a super intriguing paper to explore. It's titled Filling Institutional Voids Under Constraint Entrepreneurship Regulation and the Paradox of Control by Diane Shawe. Now, as always, let me say up front, I'm here to present this paper neutrally, not to endorse its claims academic research. After all, is about opening discussions, not closing them. So please take these ideas as a launchpad for your own reflection. All right, let's dive on in. So this paper tackles a huge kind of burning question. If entrepreneurship is supposed to fix the problems that governments or markets can't, what happens when rules and regulations actually block that fixing? Is the paradox societies want entrepreneurs to fill gaps or institutional voids, but at the same time, rules meant to manage risk and control often make it harder or sometimes basically impossible for new creative solutions to emerge. That's pretty wild, right? Why does that matter? Well, think healthcare, finance, education, climate action systems that are vital to all of us. If the rules designed to protect us end up choking the very innovations that might help, we all lose out. So how does Diane Shawe break this down? She starts by digging into institutional voids. Think situations where the existing structures don't work or are missing entirely. The classic idea here, popularized by folks like Tarantana, is that where trust enforcement, information, or coordination are weak entrepreneurs, step up and build what's needed. For example, a startup might create a local health system where the state can't reach or invent a way for people to get credit without banks. And here's the twist that assumes that rules will bend or at least not snapshot around new efforts. The paper describes a shift from voids caused by lack of rules to voids reinforced by too many rules today, regulations, compliance checklists, and systems designed for maximum control and minimum risk create new barriers to entrepreneurial action. So entrepreneurs might still see a glaring gap like bad public transport or a broken banking system, but the hoops they have to jump through make actual transformation incredibly tough. Shawe gives examples from healthcare, finance, urban services, and even digital tech innovators find themselves forced to plug into existing, sometimes broken systems, tweaking at the margins. Instead of overhauling the fundamentals, superficial efficiency gains replace deep-level change. It's like being asked to repair a house, but only being allowed to rearrange the furniture wild. There's this amazing phrase in the paper, the paradox of control. The more authorities try to regulate for safety and predictability, the less nimble and resilient institutions become. It reminds me a bit of gardens vs. jungles. The paper says that especially in emerging economies where adaptation and improvisation have historically stabilized societies, the crackdown on experimentation means slower crisis response, more concentrated power among existing big players. And we can trust in institutions, Shawe argues, and again, just neutrally repeating the argument here that regulation should shift toward adaptive governance. Sandboxes, iterative rulemaking, outcome-based standards, and temporary permissions in a crisis. The goal is to blend protection with openness to new solutions. Let's pause for a sec. I mean, it's easy to think, oh, fewer rules would make things easier, but the paper doesn't say that at all. Shawe invites policymakers, investors, researchers, and entrepreneurs to rethink their roles instead of just optimizing the same old. Let's get curious about redesigning institutions when they clearly aren't working, right? But hey, again, academic work isn't a set of instructions. It's like an invitation to debate, to try things, to learn where the edge really is. So in closing, where does all this leave us if you're an entrepreneur, policymaker, student, or just someone who wants to see systems serve people better? This paper reminds us that real change might mean pushing not just for faster or cheaper solutions, but for institutions that actually learn and evolve. Yeah, let me stress. No paper can claim the last word. This is a challenge for all of us, and we each have a piece big or small in that puzzle. Thanks for listening today on In Depth with Academia. Keep thinking, keep questioning, and remember, academia isn't about final answers. It's about new windows to look through. See you next time.